Okay, so good evening everybody, welcome to today's online seminar. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Ranju. I am a senior GRE advisor here at GREedge. I help and counsel students every year to prepare for their GRE and get into their universities. So I am here to help you guys on how to prepare for GRE and what you need to do to go forward and get into your dream university. So I appreciate everybody who has come in here taking time from your busy schedule. So guys, let us make this 1 hour which we have in our hands the most interesting session of our life. I'll tell you how you can do that. You can see an option called as chat on the right hand side corner. Can you see that? Gayatri, this is not webcam. You will not be able to see me. I'll also not be able to see you, but you can hear me and I'll be able to see what you're typing. Okay, up. You'll see an option called as chat on the right hand side corner. Okay, you can respond to all the questions which I am asking by typing in your response there and sending it. I'll be able to see your response, and if you have any doubts related to the slides which I am explaining, you can type your doubts there and send it to me. I'll read out your doubt along with your name and then I'll reply it back. So I have a humble request to all of you. We'll have a question and answer section at the end of this online seminar. So I would request that all of you can note down your doubts which are not related to the slides in a piece of paper. And at the end of this online seminar, you can ask me all those questions. Don't worry, I'll not go from here without clearing your doubts. So am I clear? Okay, so all of you have a piece of paper or a notepad or anything nearby you so that you can note down your doubts. Very good. Okay, so I have a bunch of sincere students here. Right. Okay. So today's online seminar will be discussing on how to effectively prepare for GRE. I definitely believe that everybody who has come in here has already thought about GRE. So this online seminar is for those people who have thought about GRE, and I'll be discussing on how you need to effectively prepare. Okay. So before we start this online seminar, I would want to know, what do you expect in today's online seminar? Tell me what is that you're expecting. Shankar, Makhin, Rahul, Apurv, Gayatri, Arpita, Chakradhar, Anirbit, Indranil. Okay. How to plan says Gayatri. Verbal preparation tips. Study plan, Pranay. Okay. Very good, Pranay. Have you seen the slides before? You already know what's there in it. How do we go about it? Okay. Rutuja, you're asking about the webinar, or you're telling what you want in today's online seminar? Okay. How to study daily. Right. I understand that's a very difficult problem. I also faced that when I was a student. How to begin, how to study effectively, how to get at least 25 in quants and 15 in verbal. Chakradhar, this is not your school exams. 25 correct in quants is what you're asking? Okay, I understand, right. Analytical portion. Okay, right. Yeah, we'll be discussing, Chakradhar. God should allow you to get all the questions correct in quant and all the questions correct in verbal. That should happen. How to score much in less time. What does GRE look to test and how to ace it? Ashish, you will not be able to speak here. You will be able to respond by typing in your doubts as others are typing. Okay, that's one restriction we have in this particular software which we are using. I'm really sorry. Okay, how to get 320 plus. In short, how to score a perfect 330. Indranil, superb. Okay, how to answer vocabulary questions. So already I've seen so many answers coming. That's very good. Right, how do we do our time management? Okay, so guys, before we start this online seminar, I'll tell you what happened and how we came across all these things which are going to share in today's online seminar. See, we have, I personally can say that I have experienced speaking at least to 5,000 students over the past 1.5 years. Okay, I've been speaking to students from the past 4.5 years. So speaking to students from the past 4.5 years. So what I have seen is that many students have the common set of problems with respect to different sections in GRE. So what we'll be sharing in this online seminar is the different problems in different sections which students will face, and a way on how to overcome that. Okay, so I'm very sure at the end of this online seminar you'll have a very clear picture on what all difficulties with respect to GRE you can face, so that you can take precautionary measures or you can act accordingly so that these problems don't occur later. Now the very simple way of getting a score of 330 plus or 340 or whatever score you are targeting is continuously overcoming your mistakes. For that you need to know what your mistakes are. Okay, so the key thing that is required to reach a great score is continuously understanding your mistakes and overcoming them. Okay, so we'll be discussing in detail about these as we go forward. So are you guys ready? Gayatri, I'm actually shouting. My colleague here is saying that my sound is too high. So are you able to hear me clearly, or is there a difficulty? Okay, is there a difficulty? Are you able to hear me clearly? All right, very good. So before we start this online seminar, I want you to answer a very simple question. Okay, there'll be a question that will come in front of you. That is, have you started your GRE preparation? You can click on the answers and submit it. I'll share the screen with you once I get the responses. Have you started your GRE preparations? You can click any one of them. All of you can answer. The more interesting this online seminar would become if you respond better. If all of you are responding, I'll also be interested. That's because I'm not able to see you. So the only way I can feel the energy is by your responses. So I would request all of you to answer this. Right. Okay. So right. So I'll share this with you. Okay. So here in this online seminar, 48% not yet started their preparations. Okay, so I have a big crowd of people who have not started their preparations till now. So this online seminar will tell you what all difficulties you can face in various sections, so that when you start your preparations you can take actions so that these problems are so that you overcome these problems. So 46% have just started GRE preparation. Okay, 2% middle, 2% almost completed, 2% completed. Okay, so that's good. Now there is one more question. Okay, one more question that will come in front of you. Okay, what do you think is an ideal preparation time for GRE? Okay, ideal preparation time to get a high GRE score. Ideal preparation time to get a high GRE score. Okay, so this is what people are feeling here. I have a big crowd here. There are almost 100 people. So 39% of them are feeling that 2 to 4 months is an ideal time for GRE preparation to get a high score. 27% feels that 4 to 6 months is good for GRE preparation. 18% feels 1 to 2 months is good, and then 8% 6 to 9 and 9 to 12 months. Right. So this is I just wanted to understand you better. That's why we have this poll here. Okay. So now today, as I told you in this online seminar, okay, these are some things that are required. Okay, I'll just share my screen with you. Okay, so see, in order to get a great GRE score, there are various sections which you need to master. Okay, one of this, as you know, are you guys aware about the different sections of GRE here? What are the different sections of GRE? Everybody is clear about it? Different sections of GRE. Okay, so there. Okay, as the 48% of people who said that they are not very clear about, they have not started their GRE preparation. Right. Okay. See in your in the GRE exam, there are three different sections. One is verbal, and there is quantitative, and then there is analytical writing. Verbal, quantitative, analytical writing. Okay. So these three sections, and there is one more section that is called as experimental section. Okay. Do you guys know what experimental section is? What is an experimental section? No. Okay, you don't know. Right. See, verbal section deals with your English part. Your English part. Your quantitative is your mathematical section. Okay, and then this analytical writing is essay writing. Now, what happens in the verbal part is you have three different sections inside verbal. One called as sentence equivalence, and then text completion, and then reading comprehension. You guys might be aware of what reading comprehension is. Are you aware about what reading comprehension is? Reading comprehension. Okay, you'll be given a passage, and then you need to read that passage, understand it carefully, and then questions will be given based on the passage. Sentence equivalence and text completion, they are like fill in the blanks. Okay, you will have a sentence with a blank and options will be provided. These options will be GRE words. You have to select the best option and fill it and enter it there. For that, you need to learn all the words. So that is about the verbal part. And no, it's not that tough. If you learn it correctly, then it will not be that tough. I'll tell you how it is. Right? So the next section is quantitative. Okay, quantitative, you have everything. I know many of you would love quantitative here, but quantitative you have everything except trigonometry and calculus from your high school. All other sections will be there. So higher difficulty level questions will be coming here. GRE words. Okay, Yashwant, there is something called as GRE word list. There are 3,500 GRE words you need to learn. Okay, if you learn these words, that is when you'll be able to answer text completion and sentence equivalence properly. Now your analytical writing, you have issue and argument. Two essay topics will be given. You need to type essays on these topics. Okay, and then your grammar and other things will be checked and scores will be given. So total score for GRE is 340. Any score of about 310 is considered to be decent. It's considered to be good. A score of about 320 is considered to be really good. Right. So can I just know what is the score you guys are targeting? What's your target score? 310, 340. Okay, we have Pooja who is targeting 340. Okay, so I see a very ambitious crowd here. Sai Krishna is very ambitious. He's saying 390. So actually total score of GRE is just 340, Sai Krishna. So you can't get more than 340. There, no matter how well you write it. All right, 320 to 330, Sai Kiran. Good. Yeah, 330. Trying to get 320, Vamsi. Very good. All right. Okay. So let's come back to the topic, cutting edge of GRE. That is what is required to crack and get 330 above or 320 above, whatever score you are targeting, your target score in GRE. Reading comprehension skills, speed and accuracy. Okay. See, reading comprehension, it consists of like 50% of your verbal section will be reading comprehension. So if you have speed, that means if you are able to read the passage fast and answer it accurately, 50% of your verbal problems are over. Okay, so there are different types of reading comprehension: factual, inferential. There are different types of reading comprehension. You need to learn, you need to understand all these types. We'll discuss about that as we move forward. Then second comes usage and reasoning through words. Knowing, that is the GRE words which I was talking about, 3,500 GRE words. As I told you, this is a huge list. Okay, how many of you believe that learning 3,500 words is very difficult? How many of you here, people who have come in now, you can use the chat option on the right hand side corner and respond to all the questions. Okay, I believe it's a huge task, says Indranil. Somewhat difficult, Bhavya. Okay, that's really, that's very good. If you feel that it's somewhat difficult, because I definitely, if somebody asked me this question, I'll raise both my hands, because I definitely believe learning 3,500 words is very difficult. Impractical. Okay, impossible. Sandeep, it's not impossible. I have seen people studying these words. I'll tell you as we move forward how you can prepare these words and how you will be able to master them. With time, these words can be learned. Yes, Vidushi, in another 50 years we can learn all these words, but there should be a technique that will help us remember these words much more easily. We learn tactically. Sindhu, very good. Okay. but it's not possible. Ashish, it is possible. We'll discuss about that as we move forward. See, what happens is that now people try to memorize these words, and memorizing these words is almost impossible. Even if you take 50-60 years, it's very difficult to memorize these words. You'll not be able to memorize them. You have to know the differences between these words, subtle differences between these words. If you understand the differences between the words, you'll be able to answer or apply these words in verbal part and crack verbal section. So that is one thing which you need to understand. We'll discuss about that as we move forward. Okay, then coming to the next part, the quantitative. How many of you are engineers here? BTech, BE engineers. Okay, Arpita, Pooja, Indranil, Sindhu. Okay, so many BTechs, huh? Right, computer science, ECE, electrical. Okay, I am not an engineer, so I just, okay, Vamsi. Here comes Vamsi from a non-engineering background. Okay, BTech, mechanical, B pharmacy, Bharat. Anyone from MBBS or anyone from biotechnology? BEIT. Okay, anyone from MBBS biotechnology? Amrita, yes, this is a live class. BTech environment. Okay, okay, all right. Yes, Pooja. Okay, your sister is from commerce. I understand that. I'm asking, is there anyone here who is from non-engineering background? Non-engineering background. Okay, lawyer. Apurv is a lawyer here. Great. Max honors. All right. Fine. So quantitative part, mathematics. I've seen engineers being very, very comfortable with the quantitative part, but I've also seen engineers scoring less than non-engineers many times. That's because of overconfidence. That we'll discuss about that as we move forward. Now, speed of problem solving in quantitative is very, very important. Okay? If you are fast and you solve it accurately in quantitative, that's when you'll be able to crack quantitative part. Very few people in the current GRE pattern get 170 out of 170 in quantitative. That's because it is very, very difficult. So your speed in problem solving plays a very important part to get that. As speed increases, accuracy decreases. Okay, it's a very common law. So that's why I said speed and accuracy should together increase. If you have a special training on practice and review, you will be able to increase your speed as well as your accuracy. Now, when I was asking you about verbal section or quantitative section, I saw many problems coming out. People saying, I have this problem, I have to overcome that. As I told you before, that this online seminar is purely based on what the past 4,000 students have said. So I have segregated different problems in different sections. We'll discuss each of them. Okay, so let's start with the problem areas. We'll first start with the vocabulary part, your favorite area. Okay, 3 common problems which people face is that not completed the vocabulary preparation. I have seen so many people very close to their GRE completed only 30% or 20% of their vocabulary preparation, and they believe that by God's grace or by some luck, all the questions which they get will be from this 30%. That's not going to happen. Okay, ATS is definitely not going to do that. The second problem which I have seen is that people say that I can only remember 50% of what I have studied. I have studied 3000 words, but I can remember only 50%, and I am confident only in 10%. So it comes down to 150. So I'm only confident in them. I'm not confident in others. Now, people who are prepared, can you tell me, is there any other difficulty? Indranil says it haunts. When you talk about word itself, it haunts. Okay, any other difficulty with respect to words you are facing, so that we can discuss about that here? Yes, apart from what I have written down here, those 3 things. Similar words, Apur, very good. Similar words. Okay, Apur, you are a lawyer. You would have studied so many things in your entire law career. There are so many things you need to memorize. Do you still find remembering 3,500 words difficult, Apur? Okay, can be put into practice, Vidushi. New arising words, confusing terms, words. Okay, how forget them easily. Okay, haven't really set out the task yet. Okay, see, Apur, I've also seen a lot of doctors. They study close to 20,000 medical words in their career, but studying this 3,500 words, that really haunts them. So that is difficult. Okay, how to distinguish between words? Okay, usage of words, Bharat. Okay, so that's a good list. So this you can divide the difficulty with respect to vocabulary into these 3 parts. People say they have not completed preparation, only 50% they can remember of whatever they have prepared, and 10% they are confident in. That's because, now if I ask you, people who have started their preparation, I wanted to ask you, how are you preparing? How are you preparing these words? How are you studying these words? Are you using a book and memorizing them, or you're writing it down? Yes, Sanjeet, I'll also address people who haven't started the preparation. This webinar is also for them. 10 words per day, writing it down, root words from parents, taking test, newspaper, writing it. Oh my God, so many techniques. Okay, see, the best way to remember a word, okay, is you need to visualize them. One person here said that. Okay, visualizing these words. Yes, you need to visualize these words. So now when you when you visualize these words, when you understand them very clearly, then you will learn the subtle differences between words. Okay, you have to, after you visualize, you have to relate one word to other. See, I'll tell you, I tried studying these words long back. What I did was I was creating a story for all these words. Then after some time, what happened is that 10 of the stories were similar. So all these words I started getting confused. I was getting confused with these words. Then the rest set of 5-6 words, again the stories were similar, almost similar. So that created more confusions. So you visualize these words, but you need to relate these words to other words to understand the difference. So the difference should be very clear. So for that you need to have different pictures for all words. Right, now when you study a word with a picture, the possibility of forgetting that is very less. I'll give you an example. Okay, you have heard the word antagonist. Antagonist, have you heard? It's a GRE word. Okay, there are a lot of them who have not heard it. Right, okay, imagine you are inside a parliament. Okay, antagonist means someone who offers opposition. Imagine you guys are inside a parliament. Okay, and you are from Aam Aadmi Party. Okay, you are talking about say Lokpal bill, and then the opposition, they are creating problems. Okay, so those people, they don't want the Lokpal bill to be passed. So those people are antagonist, right? Now when I show you a picture of a parliament and show you the opposing party as antagonists, when you hear the word antagonist, parliament will come into your mind. That is called as visualizing, right? So you can relate this word to any other word. That's why when you have pictures for words, forgetting them is very difficult. Okay, so you'll be able to remember these words much more easily. Apart from that, you can also try learning these words from root words. There is a site called as mnemonicdictionary.com. mnemonicdictionary.com. Here you can go and type the word and learn words from roots. But the problem is that not all words are available with roots. Okay. One more thing which I have seen is that people they study words. They study say 1,000-2,000 words, but they don't revise regularly. After some time they leave that and go to the next session. That should not happen. Okay, once you visualize the word, once you understand the root of the word, after that you need to keep on revising. That's when you'll be able to apply these words effectively. Okay, so if there was any way that you could get pictures for all the words, I would say your problem will go off. What do you say, guys? What do you think? If there are pictures provided for all the words, will the difficulty go off of remembering words? Mnemonic dictionary, Arko Das. Okay, yes, maximum. How many words per day should be learned, sir? I would say you can learn close to 60 words a day, Indranil, if you have pictures. More than 60 actually, not less than that. Exactly. Okay, now this is what you need to do with respect to remembering words. Let's go to the next section, that is sentence equivalence and text completion. I told you that sentence equivalence and text completion is like fill in the blanks. Okay, and also the usage, says Amrita. Yeah, if you have a picture and a usage, it is definitely double treat. You'll be able to remember it much more easily. How do we get them? Yes, Varshini, I'll tell you at the end of this online seminar of how you will get these words with pictures and usages. Is there a mobile software in Android of Mnemonic Dictionary? I don't think it is available, Bharat. It is available online. You can search Mnemonic Dictionary in Google. You'll have a good website where you can log in and check that. All right, okay, so let's go to the do Barron's and Norman Lewis Service GRE vocabulary. Pradeep, Barron's has a big list of all these words, but I bet you it's very difficult to study from Barron's. You can try doing that, okay, because the words are given like dictionary. And Norman Lewis doesn't have all GRE words, it has just 300 GRE words. So I would say it's better if you get pictures for these words and study it much more efficiently. 300 word list Barron's, yes. Yes, Shakti, Ramalashmi, what do you want to say? You can type it there. All right, so shall we move forward? We have just finished one slide and there are so many doubts that are coming in. Guys, we'll have a question and answer section at the end of this online seminar. You can ask me all your doubts there if it is not related to the slides. All right, so that's Anand is also saying that. Yes, we'll go by Anand's words. Okay, Anand's words that we'll have a question and answer section at the end of this online seminar. There we'll discuss all these all the questions which you have which are not related to the slides which I'm explaining. This is GRE word list given by ATS. Akshay, this word list is academic word list. US universities want students to know all these words before they come to study MBA, MS or PhD there in US. So you told that pics will be provided. How could I see those? Shakti, as we move forward at the end of this online seminar, I'll tell you how we can get words with pictures. For that you have to wait till this online seminar ends. I'll tell you how we can get all these words with pictures as well as how you can solve all other problems. Can you give us a soft copy of 3,500 words? Bharat, if you get Barron's, it will have all the 3,500 words. But learning these words from Barron's is what is difficult. Okay. So guys, let's move to the next part. Sentence equivalence and text completion. Okay, Chakradhar is also saying that please proceed with the online seminar. Doubts we can clear at the end. What is not clear, Ashish? Clarify the doubts later. All right, okay. Now, sentence equivalence and text completion, people face these difficulties. They are not very sure about their preparation level. That's because sentence equivalence and text completion type tests are not easily available, and they have not taken much sentence text completion and sentence equivalence questions. Now there are a lot of tips and techniques also which you need to use with respect to sentence equivalence and text completion. Many of them have not come across this, or they are not sure of how to apply this. So these are the two common problems which I usually hear from people who say that they are preparing for text completion and sentence equivalence type questions. Okay, so Rahul has a suggestion here to all of you, saying that have some patience, guys. We'll at the end of this online seminar we'll clear all the doubts. Okay. Right. Okay. Ashish. Right, okay. See, I just forwarded it to all of you, mnemonic dictionary. You can search this in Google and then you can get root words for some GRE words. Okay. Digvijay, at the end of this online seminar, we'll discuss about the rest of about the preparation methods and all these things. Now, with respect to sentence equals and text completion, is there any other difficulty which you guys would like to share? Any other difficulty which students might face while preparing for GRE with respect to text completion and sentence equivalence? Yeah, Pranoy says triple blank questions, they are confusing. Yeah, I understand that. I have heard that from people. Pari, Oxford dictionary, very difficult to study from a dictionary. You try studying it. Triple blank questions difficult. Indranil also says that. Yes, that is text completion triple blank questions. It's difficult to get all the three blanks correct. Right, okay, see in the text completion, when you have three different blanks and you answer one correctly and two wrongly, or say two correctly and one wrongly, the entire question would be considered wrong. Okay, so you have to answer all the blanks correctly. That's when you'll be able to get the score there. They are difficult, yes. Right, answering all three of them might be difficult if you don't understand the subtle differences between the words. So studying these words properly might solve your text completion sentence equivalence problem also. Right, okay. Now why are tests important with respect to text completion and sentence equivalence? See, you might study all the words, you might study 3000 words, 3500 words, but you will not know how good you are in applying until and unless you apply. When you get a GRE style test and when you apply, that's when you understand the real problem you will be facing. Okay, I have also personally felt it. Many times I have studied things, and when I go to the exam hall, when I see the question, I might forget it. Then I understand that's because I did not practice it properly. So that's why, with respect to words where you are more prone to forgetting it, you have to study these words and then practice these words in text completion and sentence equivalence to understand whether you are able to apply or not. Okay, where do you find tips and techniques? Yeah, even Barron's book you can find some tips and techniques, but you can't apply there, you can't practice it. Okay, when you search online you might even find some tips and techniques, but not all these tips and techniques can be applied. So you have to understand which technique suits you and then apply them. Why is application important? Okay, application of words important. See, 19th edition of Barron's book, okay, the Barron's 19th edition did not even have a word list. 3500 words were not there in that. That's because people very clearly felt that remembering all these 3500 words are not important, but understanding them and applying them are important. That's why contextual understanding of these words to select the best answer is very, very important. Okay, so if you don't understand this word deeply, you will not be able to understand the difference between words, and you will get confused when you see all the options. So more than memorizing all these words, I would advise you to understand these words very carefully by relating it to a picture or to a usage, and then practicing it regularly to overcome text completion and sentence equivalence type of problems. Okay, so am I clear, guys? Am I clear? Sayed, previous online seminar. Okay, I'll tell you how you can get that at the end of this online seminar. Yeah, yes, Nilakshi, the 20th edition of Barron's has also come, that has word list, but it's very difficult to use just Barron's and prepare, okay, because that itself is not, that alone, Barron's alone is not enough. All right, so we'll go to the next part, that is proper study plan. Okay, now tell me, how many of you are here I just want to know, you guys get study holidays before your exams? Study holidays? Yeah, Nitin, I'll tell you about how you need to prepare as you move forward. Do you guys get study holidays? Yes. Preparation leaves. Working full time. Okay. Yeah, there are working professionals also here, I understand. Okay, 15 days, maybe few days. Not in my college. Okay, Chahat, you don't get leave at all? Your college is very rude. Only on Sunday. Working, right? I understand. Working professionals, I have empathy for your difficulty, because I am also a working professional. I understand the difficulty. When we were in college, we used to get so many leave, but it doesn't happen here. Right, that's okay. Now, when you get holidays, how many of you here plan that every day I'll study, but don't study at all, and at the end when you have 3-4 days you study really hard? How many of them are like that? Okay, Nilakshi, Indranil, Nitin, Amruta, join me in the club. Very good. Working professionals can also answer. Okay, while in engineering, almost everyone, right? That's great. Okay, before 1 to 2 months, join me. Last time strugglers. Exactly. Okay, now that cannot happen with respect to GRE, yeah? Because GRE doesn't test your subject knowledge at all. Okay, so there is nothing that you can study. GRE tests your skills, your verbal, quantitative and analytical writing skills. So that cannot happen at all. Engineers are famous for last night study. Exactly, yeah. So that cannot happen with respect to GRE. GRE skill can be improved with continuous practice over a period of time. You cannot improve skill overnight. So in that case, what you need is a very, very clear focused study plan. and I am quite sure many of us make a study plan but we don't follow it, or we don't have a very clear study plan that pushes us to follow it, right? So that is one problem which people face, have less time and have high potential but don't have a focused plan. Okay, what do you mean by a focused plan, guys? What do you think focused plan would be? A focused plan. Please tell me a good study plan, Nitin. Definitely I'll tell you. Okay, what do you mean by a focused study plan? A focused study plan. Smart working schedule, proper hour by hour, ambition with 100% concentration. The one will be lacking, okay, that relates a continuous preparation to deal with all sort of questions, never compromise with the timetable, small milestones chalked out, plan which is more practical and possible. Very good. Okay, see, a focused study plan, a study plan is focused when you identify all the weaker areas you have very clearly, and then make a plan of how you can overcome these weaker areas like day by day, starting from the most weaker area to the least weaker area. Okay, so that is something which you need to work on. So a study plan, if you have a timetable of what you need to study every day, okay, focusing on your weaker areas clearly and telling what all you need to do to overcome those weaker areas, and then a continuous check to see whether you're overcoming your weaker areas or not, that's what I would call as a focused or complete study plan. Okay, so creating proper balance between GRE preparation and academic studies, social work, social life, sleep. Okay, I have seen people saying that don't log into Facebook while you're studying. If you have a very clear study plan and you're continuously overcoming your weaker areas, you'll have enough time to spend, you'll have enough time to enjoy also. It's not that you have to continuously study, you have to also take some breaks in between. Okay, so your study plan should be realistic, it should include breaks in between. Okay, the study plan should also be made in such a way to avoid last minute preparations. Okay, you should have regular reminders that tells you where do you stand with respect to your preparation. Okay, now preparing the study plan, these are the things that are required for a good study plan. Yes, Pranay, I'll tell you how you can get a highly focused study plan with us as we move forward. At the end of this online seminar, I'll be telling about that. How many hours should I spend for GRE? Pradeep, how many days do you have for your GRE preparation? Sorry, GRE exam. When are you planning to take your GRE? 20? You mean to say 20 days? Okay. In that case, you should dedicate, I would say, 5 to 6 hours each day. Okay, if you can do that, then GREedge can help you. 3 months, 4 months. Alright, we'll discuss about the GRE days as we move forward. Okay, people who have longer time such as 1 year and all, that's super, because if you have 1 year in your hand, you can slowly prepare 1 hour every day and then reach a great score. Okay, continuous upgradation of your skills. Alright, so with study plan, saying all these things is actually easy. Getting a study plan will like this would be better, getting a study plan like that would be better. But what happens? Okay, now you need to assess your current preparation level to prepare a proper study plan. You need to understand where you stand with respect to your preparation now. Then you need to create a plan which has proper balance between your GRE preparation and academic studies. Okay, so this is what you need to do to prepare a very clear focused study plan. Now what happens is that, okay, what happens is that people first, they are not very clear about their weaker areas. Okay, so when they take a test, they don't exactly understand where all I am weaker. And second, once they finish studying, they don't have a plan that helps them revise. So revision itself becomes like one more study. That makes it very difficult to complete your portions, and at the end you are not confident. Okay, ultimately, what should a study plan do? A study plan, what should it do ultimately? Just one word I want to know from you. One word that a study plan, a focused study plan will give. What is that? Okay, Arko, you can spend 1.5 hours every day, then that will be enough. Good score, result, great score, improvement, productivity. Okay, Nikhilesh says confidence. Exactly, that's what I was thinking. A proper focused study plan will help you improve your confidence throughout consistently. Okay, if 3 days you are following the study plan and your confidence is not improving, throw the study plan away. That's not right. Okay, because the focus of the study plan is to improve your confidence and ultimately to make you reach a great score, right? So at the end of this online seminar, I'll tell you how we can get this study plan. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of doubts here, guys, who have come in late. I'll just tell you that you can note down all the doubts whichever you have, which not related to the slides, which are not related to the slides. At the end of this online seminar, we have a question and answer section. There you can ask me all these doubts. I'll clear your doubts, like when to take GRE, how to study for GRE, all these things I'll be clearing. Now just let's focus on understanding what all difficulties you can face with respect to preparation, so that you be cautious while you're preparing. And if you have already started a preparation, you'll understand what all things I need to overcome. All right. So you please note down all your doubts. At the end of this online seminar, I'll clear all your doubts. Is that fine, guys? Shall we move forward? All right. Okay. Very good. Now, as I was telling you, weaknesses. Okay. If I ask you which is the section in GRE, okay, or I would go one step more deeper, which particular topic in GRE you find extremely difficult, or which you would term as your weakness? Text completion, reading comprehension, vocabulary, verbal, analytical, text completion, sentence equivalence, without a doubt verbal part. Okay, essay, analytical. I would want you to, this is too broad. Okay, when you say analytical, it's too broad. When you say reading comprehension, it's too broad. What is there inside that? Time management, right? Okay, Abbas says time management. Quantitative comparison topics. No, Nikhilesh, I just want you to imagine, understand verbal, quantitative, analytical writing, and tell what can be the problem. Finding out the tone of the author, impatience while doing RC, sentence equivalence, right? Okay. Now, many I have seen people, they are not very clear about all their weaker areas. Okay, if they are clear, they might be clear of one or two weaker areas, but not clear about all the weaker areas, and they don't know how to overcome that. That is one more problem which people face. Okay, how to spot your weakness? You need to have an assessment test that is like a diagnostic test. Okay, a diagnostic test that helps you understand which all the sections of GRE you need to take a test and see which section you are more weaker. Okay, have a regular check on emerging difficulties while taking sessions. So when you're studying, you have a separate sheet maintained, you have a separate book maintained where you write down all the major difficulties you are facing. At the end of the day, you can just review that, and then you can understand whether these things, what you need to do to overcome them. Okay, find appropriate remedial for areas which you are weak. Proper identification, classification, and preparation of the remedial, which will help you overcome the weak areas. If you identify all your weaker areas very clearly, you can classify them into different groups and work on them one by one. That's how you'll be able to overcome your weaker area. So as I told you, the study plan, it should focus on your weaker area and tell you how you need to overcome the weaker area. So if you have a focused and proper study plan, this particular problem completely goes off. Okay. Now when I tell GRE, okay, when I tell GRE exam, do you guys get worried? Very much. Not, yes, a lot. Nitin is not worried. Okay. Do you guys get anxious when you think about taking GRE? Worried, fear of scoring less. Exactly. See, we all come from a very competitive environment. Our scores are always discussed in house. Okay, our parents discuss our scores with their friends, and getting a good score is a social reputation for all of us. So I understand the pressure with respect to GRE score or your academics also. Now that is okay. So Abbas says fearing, you have a fear of wasting this $185. That's right. Okay, that nervousness, right? I understand that. That's very common. Okay, now why are people anxious? Okay, what does anxiousness indicate? It indicates lack of preparation, okay, not able to understand how to work in one's own weaker area. This is the reason people are anxious. Okay, one more very clear reason would be there is no clear check that tells you that you are improving or you are weaker. Now when we are studying, we don't see comparisons to other students. For example, say you are preparing using a book. Okay, let's take Sandeep. Sandeep here is preparing using a book. So Sandeep knows how he is preparing, but Sandeep doesn't know, is he preparing really well with when he compares himself to others? Okay, that he can knows when he can, to some extent he will know when he discusses with people, but to a larger extent, if Sandeep is compared to everyone who's taking GRE, and then it is shown where does he stand with respect to preparation, that will motivate him to prepare better. Am I correct? That will help you overcome your anxiousness. Am I correct? I worry how to glue to a seat 5 hours at a stretch. Sindhu, if you get a very interesting way to prepare, you will definitely be able to spending more than 5 hours. Okay, so anxiousness happens when you are not very confident about your preparation, or you are not very confident of how you are progressing. So your progress should be consistently checked. I'll tell you how you can do that as we move forward. Okay, it's in my office for 10 hours. All right. Now coming to the next part, I saw a lot of them saying reading comprehension. Okay, reading comprehension is a problem. Now, okay, guys, is there any doubts you want to ask which are related to the slides we just saw now? Any doubts? No, Indranil, diagnostic test doesn't require any sort of preparation. That will naturally help you understand where do you stand. Okay, does anyone have doubts on whatever we discussed? Guys, do you have doubts? You can ask me your doubts if you have any. Not doubts which are not related to the slides. Without preparation, we'll be able to score in diagnostic test. Anirbit, your score is not seen in diagnostic test. Diagnostic test just helps you understand which all area is stronger or weaker. The biggest challenge is time management in preparation, smart preparation. Yes, Amrita, we'll discuss about time management as we move forward. Reading comprehension, Ashish says reading comprehension, the comprehension is very confusing and it also has very long sentences. Right, Ashish, that I have heard with many people say that. If I speak to 10 people about reading comprehension, I would say 8 of them will say it. What is experimental section? Very good. Okay, so I just told at the starting of this online seminar. See, experimental section is a section which can be either a verbal or a quant. Okay, so this particular section it doesn't carry marks. It is given by ATS just to test the type of questions. Okay, so ATS would want to test certain type of questions, so they will put it in a section and give it to you. It is unscored section. You will not know which is an experimental section until and unless you finish your GRE. Okay, for example, I'll give you an example. ATS wants to check a set of 20 questions in verbal. So what they will do is, when you go to write your GRE, you will have a verbal section first, then you will have a quant section. After that, you will get a verbal section, and then you might get one more verbal section and then one quant section. So you will not know which one was experimental, because there are only 2 verbal section and 2 quant section you can get. So you got 3 verbal section. So one of the section was a experimental section. Okay, so this particular section can be either verbal or quant, and it doesn't carry any marks. It is just by ATS to test the type of questions. Am I clear, guys? Did you understand what these sections are? Experimental section. Are you clear? Shailaja, are you clear? Are you clear, guys? No, Ayush, there are not 3 verbal section. There are 2 verbal section, 2 quant section, 2 analytical writing section, right? This is the standard structure of GRE. But you might get one more verbal section or one more quant section. You will not know which one is that, and you will not even know which particular section was that. So that section, whichever you get more than 2, will be experimental section, and you will not know which one was that. Right? Am I clear? Did you get it, Ayush? All right. Okay. It is mandatory to attempt Psychiran. You cannot ignore it, because you will not know which one is that. If you knew, you will ignore it. That's why ATS is very smart. ATS is not telling which particular section is experimental section. Yes, Pradeep? All right. Okay. So let's go to the reading comprehension part, which is very, very important. Reading comprehension has a lot of techniques. Many people don't know it. They just go read the particular passage and answer it. Now the problem is that these techniques are not readily available. It's very, very difficult to get it. And time management in reading comprehension is obviously a very big problem, because you have a big passage, you need to read the entire passage and then answer it. So your reading speed should be very, very high. Okay, so for that you need to read regularly. Okay, you need to finish one novel in a week. Okay, continuously you need to be reading novels. That's when your reading speed increases, and that's when you'll be able to crack the reading comprehension part. And with respect to the techniques, at the end of this online seminar, I'll tell you how we can get these techniques. Now, how can time management skills be developed? As I told you before, reading skills, you need to finish at least one book in a week. And then when you go to write your reading comprehension, you have to first read the questions and then the passage, not the passage and then the questions. Because what happens is, after you read the passage and then the questions, you'll understand, okay, I missed something, you'll go back and read it again. So it's better to read the questions, understand it, and then go forward with the passage. Then there are techniques such as skimming, scanning. Okay, so there are various type of techniques like this which you need to learn one by one and practice them accurately. Okay, accuracy and time management are interrelated. If one provides accuracy, time management will be improved automatically, right? So if you answer questions correctly when you are practicing, and when you continuously practice, that's when you'll be able to develop this time management skill, and you'll be able to answer questions accurately. Skimming, Syed, skimming is a technique when you understand which particular part of the reading comprehension is the most important part and read only that. Okay, so that's a skill which you can see. There are different types of reading comprehension, and every type has a specific technique. So once you learn this technique, you'll be able to apply these techniques. So after you learn these techniques, you'll be applying this after you learn these techniques, you'll be applying these techniques regularly. That's when you learn them. Okay. Actually, we cannot view the passage again when we move on to the question in GRE exam. Chitra, when you sometimes you have the question and the passage together. Okay, at that time you need to read the questions and then the passage. Sometimes the passages are big, so you can move forward and backward in GRE. There is no restriction that once you move forward you can't go backward. Within a section, verbal section is there. There are 20 questions. Within these 20 questions, you can move forward and backward as many times as you want. But once you finish this one section, verbal 1 section, and go to the verbal 2 section, you can't come back to verbal 1. Right? Have I cleared it out, Chitra? Okay, acquaintance with variety of topics means, see, in Daniel, I have seen people who are good with, who have studied biotechnology. They'll be very good with any topic that is that are related to science. But when it is I have seen people from non-engineering background, when they get technical topics, they face difficulty. Or I have also seen people from engineering background feeling difficulty with history or biology topics. So don't read something that where your strength lies. So if you're an engineer, you read more of biology topics. You understand the advancements that are happening with respect to environment or biology, and also history. So if you're a non-engineer, you read more technical papers. So that's what it means. What should we read most? You should read, I would say, see, Indranil, there are a lot of blogs on different topics. Okay, so if you are an engineer, you go forward and know about the current advancement that is happening with respect to biology and also psychology. So that these are the areas where you might be slightly weaker. And there's a science section in newspaper. You need to read a lot of them. Even science fiction novels or normal fiction novels that helps you imagine. If you read more, that will help you develop your reading skills. See, if it is technical aspect, you'll definitely be able to. History, okay, so you can go forward and learn history, read a lot of history. So that is what it means. You need to get used to topics, which a variety of topics, especially topics which you are not much familiar with. What should engineers read? Okay, see, Vidushi, my colleague is an engineer, okay, but he is pretty bad with respect to history. Okay, he's also pretty bad with respect to sports. Okay, especially cricket. Okay, so I ask him to read a lot of history and sports. Okay, so if he reads that, he'll get used to it. Then he understands, okay, what are the other things which I'm not very interested in, and he reads that also. Okay, reading something which you're not interested in is a real challenge. So when you're studying, you need to do that. You need to read a lot of things which you're not really interested in. Which you're interested in, you'll definitely be able to finish it fast. So that's what it means, that you need to get used to variety of topics. Okay, so a lot of practice is required with respect to reading comprehension. Okay, what should a paramedical person read? Priya Gupta, I would say you read a lot of okay, paramedical, if you're not really interested with technology, okay, you read a lot of technology papers. Okay, you read a lot of technology blogs. Okay, Shankar, we'll discuss about this as we move forward, about the about to maintain accuracy when you take the entire test. Okay, so shall we move forward, guys, to the next part? Yes, Aman, there are a lot of questions that are that are coming in. Right, skimming is a technique, Akshay. I'll tell you how we can learn that as we move forward. Okay, quantitative aptitude. Now, when I say mathematics, how many of you are relieved here? Yay, possibly. Okay, I understand that. Scanning is also a particular technique. When you understand that which all things are important and then mark those, okay, understand those, yeah, you remember those parts very, very clearly. Okay, quantitative haunts you, Akshay. Okay, I love probability. Right, I hated probability, guys, seriously, because I was never able to find out the logic behind it. How many of you here hate probability? Oh, Sindhu is my friend. She also hates probability. Kind of tricky, yes, extremely tricky. Okay, so there are a lot of friends I have here. All right. Now, with respect to quantitative, I have seen many people being confident. Okay, arithmetic, algebra, geometry. They say these are easy topics and get a good number of questions, but chances of making silly mistakes are high. I have seen this. Some people with non-engineering background, I have seen them scoring high with respect to when they are compared to people with engineering background. That's because people from engineering background take quantitative easily. Okay, they say, okay, anyhow, I'll study it at the end when I have 2 days. I'm going to crack it. But what a non-engineering student does is he prepares on it consistently, and then finally the non-engineering student gets a better score than someone who is from an engineering background. Okay, so less confident in some areas. I have seen people being less confident in probability, okay, permutation and combination, data interpretation, okay, and even quantitative comparisons, where they have a lot of these worded problems also happening when you need to understand visualize a particular answer, or the questions like there is a park and there is a rectangle inside the park, so you need to imagine it completely and then answer it. Okay, these are some topics which are difficult, and proper guidance and techniques to approach it would be helpful to crack. Right, is there any other topic which you feel it is difficult? They are imaginary topics, Rahul. Yes. I can't get when to use P and C, Vignesh. All right, okay. I have 1 month time only. I don't think I have much time to read novel. Tell me a technique to overcome reading comprehension at the time of exam. See, Venkat, that is, do you know all the techniques required in quantitative? If you know, when you have 30 days, you should quickly learn all these techniques and then continuously practice GRE style tests. I'll tell you how we can get that at the end of this online seminar. DI is data interpretation, Akshay. Percentage, speed, time, work, do they come? Yes, they come, Aman, but they are not. I feel that was not as difficult as these. Okay, Indranil, you hate all these three topics. All right, okay. Okay, most commonly asked questions, data comparison and problem solving questions are important types which you get more. I've seen a lot of data comparisons and problem solving questions coming. One should know how to approach these questions strategically. That is, you should be extremely well prepared in all these topics. Okay, now one more thing is that in GRE, if you skip a particular question without answering it, okay, there are rumors that you can have negative marks. Okay, so you should not skip any question. You should try to answer all of them. Okay, so that can have high impact on your GRE score. So even if you don't know, you should somehow answer it. Okay, you should not leave any question unanswered. Apur, they do have. Answering a wrong question doesn't have any negative marks. That's what I've heard. Answering a wrong question doesn't have negative marks, but if you skip a particular question and move forward, there are chances that you can have negative marks. So don't leave any question unanswered. Bharat, I did not understand your question. Oh, marking strategy. All right. See, marking strategy. See, if ATS discloses the marking strategy, everybody will be able to mock ATS. Okay, they'll be able to make GRE style tests. So they'll never say what is the score that they are giving. The total score is 340. Okay, and it is known to be adaptive. I'll tell you what adaptive is as we move forward. Do they just check the answer or steps? No, Sindhu, they don't check the steps and all. They just want the answer. Is there any chance that they may ask repeated question again in coming exams? No, this is in our college it is possible, but GRE it is definitely not possible. I don't think they have repeated questions mostly. Anyone can get 260 easily. It starts from 130 in both the section. Yes, Ayush, but 260 is like 0. Yeah. Okay, it starts from 260. Is there a chance that, okay, how many hours of test is it? 4.5 hours, Saman. Okay, now let's come to the next part, GRE style tests. Okay, so many people haven't taken GRE style tests. Okay, so they don't take GRE style test before they go to their GRE. Okay, Akshay, how to evaluate the questions when the minimum score is 260? No, Akshay, if you answer all the questions wrongly, you'll get 260. From 260, it starts and it goes till 340. All right. Okay. So now coming to the GRE style test thing. Okay, what happens is that, see, GRE is an adaptive test. Do you guys know what adaptive means? GRE is an adaptive test. Do you guys know what adaptive is? Everybody knows what adaptive is? Adaptive. No idea. Adaptive section wise, no. Please explain. Okay, all right. See, adaptive means, as I told you, there are two different sections in verbal, two different sections in quant. Verbal 1, verbal 2, quant 1, quant 2. So if you answer verbal 1 properly, that is if you have answered most of the questions correctly, verbal 2 becomes more difficult. Okay. So if you answer quant 1 correctly, quant 2 becomes more difficult. So the difficulty level increases based on the answers you give in the previous section. If you don't answer verbal 1 properly, verbal 2 becomes easy. If you don't answer quant 1 properly, quant 2 becomes easy. Right? So that's how it works. You need to answer all. Now when you answer difficult questions in verbal 2 or quant 2, you get higher marks. Okay. So that means if any of your friends say that their GRE exam was very easy, especially the second part was very easy, you can give them a slap and tell them that you have not written your exam properly. If you don't answer the first section properly, the next section becomes easy. Right? So that's what adaptive means. So many people don't understand this and they just search online tests and they just take tests available anywhere. But adaptive tests are not readily available. It's very difficult to make it because you need to have a pool of questions and then it should be online. That's when it can be adaptive. Okay. So when you book your GRE date, you will get one adaptive test from ets.org. They'll send you an adaptive test. Okay. So yeah, why should you take such online tests? It is to make you understand how real GRE works, so that you understand that how can I answer these questions. For example, when you answer verbal 1, you can answer it much faster, and then verbal 2 you can spend some more time because it will be more difficult. So all this planning is required. For that, continuous practice of adaptive tests would be required. I shall tell you as we move forward. Yes, GREedge has this, Ayush. Adaptive is not so good. Yes, Rahul, that's why GRE is difficult. Without completing verbal 1, verbal 2 cannot be opened. Yes, Bharat, it cannot be opened. Okay, quantitative section, I attend quantitative. Okay, Vamsi, if you don't answer the first section properly, the next section becomes easy. Okay, so next section, even if you answer properly, you're going to get low score. Right, so you need to answer the first section properly and next section should be more difficult. You need to answer them also properly. That's when you'll be able to get a good score. Yes, Priya, GREedge has. Yeah, GREedge has adaptive tests. 4 hours of continuous test. No, there are breaks, Aman. There are breaks in between. Okay, right. So let's go to the next part. Okay, some other problems which people Okay, Vignesh, I just told experimental section. You did not understand. Okay, at the end I'll tell it again. Right. So what happens is that people, while preparing by their own, or when someone goes to, I've seen this happening. A lot of students whom I spoke to, they were telling that when they go to coaching class, there are so many students sitting, 60, 70 students sitting, and it is only for 1 hour. So when they have doubts, it's very difficult to stand up and ask doubts. So many people are there with doubts, and in coaching class they focus on telling what all you need to study and then just leave it. You come back home and then you start preparing. At that time when you have doubts, you are stuck with your doubts, and then you have to wait. Next day you go and then clear. Sometimes it doesn't get clear also. So that is one thing. One more thing which people were saying, that in coaching class when I'm sitting, I have a different weaker area, and the person sitting next to me has a different weaker area, and they don't focus on my weaker area or his weaker area, but whichever they want to start with. So that is one thing which people regularly complain about. Now, asking doubts is definitely a problem when you prepare by your own or when you go to a coaching class. Now, when you don't have much time, you definitely have more doubts. How many of you agree with that? Oh, okay, all of you agree with that. When you have less time, you definitely have more doubts. I also have the same problem, right? So doubts usually arise when you don't understand a particular topic. Okay, when you are anxious, when you are curious to know things a better way, right? So these are the three ways how doubts will arise. Okay, doubts, how does it impact your preparation? Now when you have a doubt, you cannot proceed further. It's like a speed breaker. Okay, it gives you a stop, then you have to clear it and then go forward. Sometimes when you don't understand it completely, you are not confident in the next part which you have gone to study. It also frustrates you. Okay, when you have a doubt and it is not cleared clearly, it frustrates you and decreases your confidence. Okay, now how to overcome it? You need someone who can clear your doubts regularly. Okay, there should be some way where your doubts are cleared whenever you are studying, right? So there are a lot of ways. You have to keep on searching it. Okay, but continuous clearance of doubts is very, very difficult. All right, so we'll discuss about that. Now let's come to the analytical rating part. What you can see here is an issue topic. Okay, as people rely more and more on technology to solve problems, the ability of humans to think for themselves will surely deteriorate. Now this is a particular topic which is given, which is current issue. You need to write on this particular issue. Okay, so this is an issue topic, and then comes a argument topic. Okay, argument topic is you're given a particular topic and you have to support it or reject it. See here, with write a response in which you discuss what specific evidence is needed to evaluate the argument and explain how the evidence would weaken or strengthen the argument. Okay, so you have to give lot of examples. Okay, you have to now tell me what is required to get a good score in analytical rating. You have seen issue and argument topic. Now if you want to write it better, what is required? Yes, Varney, we'll discuss about that as we move forward. We definitely help in managing time and making a timetable. I'll tell you about that. Example says Sai Kiran, good writing skills. Okay, Nilaksi. What about others? What do you think is required to crack analytical writing? Organizing idea, newspaper reading, speed, choice of words, more understanding of issue. Okay, your grammar is important, lot of examples are important, so your knowledge on current issue very, very important. The flow of ideas, how do you write? Is it persuasive? Is it interesting? That is also important. You need to there should see, if you want to if you want to improve analytical writing, improve your essay writing, essays should be evaluated by an expert. Okay, an expert should personally evaluate the essay and tell you this is how you need to improve. That's when you will understand, okay, these are the areas where I need to improve and write the next essay better. All right. Okay. Example should be real time. You can't give normal stories as that in our life to justify it. You can give that, but more clear and examples, better understanding of general knowledge or better things that happened before. If you give that example, that will be better. Now, problems people usually face with analytical writing is they write writing essays without errors very difficult, because we Indians are not very used to writing. Okay, develop typing speed. Okay, that is one more thing which you need to work on. You need to improve your typing speed regularly. Okay, there are a lot of if you search in Google, you'll find a lot of touch typing sites available. Okay, touch typing, when you register there, you'll be taking regular online classes. Okay, that will help you improve your typing speed. Okay, get essays evaluated by a professional expert, as I told you before. Read vast variety of global topics so that you get a lot of ideas and examples. Okay, one common problem which I have seen people with respect to analytical writing is that they don't take analytical writing very seriously. They take it lightly. They think that, okay, at the end of this particular preparation, when I finish my verbal and quant, I'll go forward with analytical writing. And many of them don't know the importance of analytical writing also. Okay, that is, I have seen people who have got low scores in analytical writing, because of which their application got rejected. They had to write their analytical writing, write the GRE again just for analytical writing and then apply. Okay, so that should not happen. You have to give equal importance to analytical writing as you give for verbal and quant. Don't know anyone who can evaluate analytical writing. Yes, that's a problem, but I'll tell you how you can solve the problems solve these problems as you move forward. Okay, so we have discussed about this argument and issue. There are two different topics. You can log into ets.org. You can see a big pool of questions will be there, analytical writing questions. You can go through all of them. Many of the topics will come from them. How can you self-evaluate? You should frame your own essay, analyze whether they have responded to the given instruction. Okay, see, you have to, the best thing to do to evaluate your essays is get it evaluated by someone who is an expert in it. Someone who has evaluated a lot of essays, and an expert, if they evaluate, that's better. All right, are spelling mistakes considered? Yes, Ankush, they are considered. If the application to various universities we are interested is provided by GRE only if we qualify it. Yes, GRE is very important, Vidushi. If you get a good score in GRE, that's when you'll be able to apply to universities. Does analytical rating contribute towards the final score? Apur, analytical rating is rated separately in a scale of 0 to 6. 170 for your verbal, 170 for your quant, so total comes 340. Analytical rating is rated separately in a scale of 0 to 6. No, Arko, the mnemonic dictionary doesn't provide words with pictures. That is very difficult to get. I'll tell you how we can get that as we move forward. Application is provided by US universities, Vidushi. After you get a GRE score, you can understand which all universities you can apply. Go to those university websites, download the application form, and then go forward and apply. Nilaksi, that's not true. Universities look at analytical rating score as much as they look for verbal and quant. Any score of 3.5 and 4 above would be considered decent, Ankush. Now, okay. Now I told you that GRE is a entrance that tests your skills. Okay, that tests your skills. Can you guys give me example of any skill? Maximum score would be 6, Akshay. Okay, there is no minimum score. If you get about 3.5, it's considered to be decent. Okay, I told you that GRE is an entrance that tests your skills, verbal, quantitative, analytical writing skills. You give me an example of any skill apart from studies. Cricket, okay. Reading, right? Coding, Aman, I understand you're a working professional. Okay. Swimming, very good, Nilaksi. Listening, quizzing, football. Then give me more examples of skills. Writing, gymming. Okay, observing, interpersonal skills. Okay, let's take gymming from Pradeep. Okay, Pradeep has given a very good example here. Now, take any skill, gymming, painting, or driving, swimming, whichever. Now, tell me, if you want to develop a skill, say you want to become a good swimmer, or you want to become a good painter, or you want to develop your body. Okay, if you take a book and read on how to swim, how to paint, or how to develop a good body, will you be able to get that? There is no way. Okay, let's take example of driving. You take a book and read how to drive, and then you go for a license testing. Will you be able to get your license? Is that possible? No way. Mahesh says in India you can get it. Yes, in India you can definitely get it. India is the only place where you can get license without driving. Now, similarly, direct hospital, Pradeep. Right, okay. Similarly, if I make you sit in a class and I teach you driving, I draw a picture of a vehicle, I tell you where you need to sit, and then I show you the road. I teach this every day, and then I send you for license testing or swimming or gymming or whichever skill you want. Okay, will you be able to get it? Is there any way? In Pakistan also. Okay. Is there any way you'll be able to get your license by sitting in a class and learning driving? There is no way. Okay. The only way you can develop a particular skill is by continuous practice. Continuous practice. Okay. So GRE, as I told you, test your verbal, quantitative, analytical writing skills. Okay. So that's the reason GREedge came into the concept of online learning. Okay, GRE is an online computer adaptive test, and students here at GREedge get real-time experience of GRE exam. Okay, they understand how online adaptive environment works, they practice for time management, and they learn at their own convenience. I'll just tell you what happens here at GREedge. As soon as a student enrolls with GREedge, he is given two personal trainer, a verbal trainer and a quant trainer. These trainers will be like your GRE doctors. Now tell me, if you have fever, say if you have fever and you go to a doctor, what is the first thing that the doctor will do? You have fever and you go to a doctor. What is the first thing the doctor will do? Okay, Apurv is very smart. He is giving the right answer. Check temperature. Okay. What about others? Symptoms. Ask for money. Okay. Give injection. Right then. Introduction. A doctor will introduce himself to you. All right. Check the affected area. Antidote. Okay. All right. Okay. So doctor will not operate you as soon as you go there. The doctor will first understand your problems. That is by giving you a diagnostic test. Okay. They diagnose you and they will understand all your problem, and then they'll give you a prescription. Right. Similarly, your verbal and quant trainers will give you a diagnostic test. You will take the diagnostic test. You will understand all your weaker areas very clearly. They'll speak to you also over phone and understand you better. And then they will give you a focused study plan, which I told you before. A study plan that is completely focused depending upon the number of hours you can study. Now you guys were saying that 3,500 words very, very difficult. What is done here at GREedge is this 3,500 words are divided into 35 words and they are put in each session. Every word is given with a real-time usage and a picture. So you learn 35 words, you understand them very, very clearly, and then as soon as you finish learning these 35 words, you will be given a test to apply these words, a GRE style test. That is exactly what I said. You learn how to drive a vehicle and then you are given a vehicle to practice. Plus, when you are studying these words, there will be an ask a doubt option on the top. Ask a doubt option on the top will be like this. Okay, you'll have this. This is the learning tracker. You'll have an ask a doubt option like this. Okay, in this ask a doubt, okay, you can click on this particular thing and ask as many doubts as you have. Okay, your trainers will clear all your doubts. Okay, after you finish learning this 35 words, you are given a test. Okay, you learn all the 35 words, then you are given a test on how to apply these words. You will apply those words, then your trainers will understand the application. They will look at your pattern. We have a technology called as millisecond technology. This is the particular learning tracker. Okay, so what happens is this particular learning tracker, when you are studying, every mouse click of yours is recorded and sent to your trainer. So your trainer can understand what you have clicked and what you have not studied, what you have studied. So they'll give you detailed feedback. So after you finish learning a particular session, you're given a test and then your trainers give you a feedback. So learn, practice, and then feedback. Okay, so this feedback will help you understand what all mistakes you have made and you'll go back and study that again. Right? The same thing happens with respect to your other sections, that is your quantitative and your reading comprehension or your analytical writing. Okay, you'll have learning session, you'll learn a particular section, you'll clear all the doubts, and then you're given a test to apply them, and your trainers give you feedback. Right, you'll also have surprise test after you finish learning some 3 to 4 session. Suddenly you will get a test on the first session. Okay, so your trainers will help you understand whether you're able to remember that thing which you studied properly or not. Okay, so you'll also have online seminars from your trainers on difficult topics like this 3 times a week. Okay, so you'll be discussing all your problems with your online with your trainers in the online seminar. Okay, so you'll have this personal attention given in every particular section of GRE. That's what GREH does. Okay, verbal, quantitative, analytical writing, whatever problems we had discussed, okay, about analytical writing getting evaluated, that will be done here by your personal experts. They will evaluate your essays word by word. Okay, your reading comprehension, you will learn different techniques, and then you'll be given sections to practice, questions to practice these techniques, and that will be evaluated, and you'll be getting feedback. Words, you'll be provided with pictures and usages so that you learn all the words without confusion. That's what happens here with GREH. Now tell me guys, if you prepare like this for your GRE, what will happen to your GRE score? If you prepare like this for your GRE, what will happen to your GRE score? Should improve. Definitely. Boost. Will get a great score. Will be able to score 340. Very good. Yes, Pranay, thanks for reminding me. As I told you, a doctor will give you a prescription. Your trainers will give you a very clear study plan of what you need to study continuously every day. Okay, when say tomorrow you can dedicate 3 hours, you'll have a study plan of what you need to study for 3 hours. And day after tomorrow, if you can dedicate 2 hours, what you need to study for these 2 hours. Right. You'll also be given GRE style tests as well as GRE style adaptive tests. A lot of these type of tests will be given for you to practice continuously. Okay, achieve the target, score high. All right, so this is how the training happens here at GREH. Okay, so I'm happy to share this with you. Can you guess the number of students who have scored 320 plus with GREH? 320 plus with GREH. Can you guess the number of students? 50 says Anirbit. 50 plus Venkat Reddy. Okay. 30. 25. 100. 70. Priya, this live online seminar will be like this as we are having it now, but you will have your personal trainers. 175%. Okay. Right. So there are close to, I would say, in the past 7 months, there are some 2000 students. Okay. The number of students that have scored 320 plus with GREH is 400. 400 plus students have scored 320 plus. Okay. So that makes GREH one of the most successful GRE training academy. Okay. And to celebrate that particular thing, we are giving a huge 35% offer on our most successful program called as Complete GRE. One of our most successful program. Okay. So I would there will be a poll that will be launched in front of you. Okay, you can answer this particular question which will come in front of you. This will help us understand you better. Okay, so it has come. You can just click on the appropriate option, whichever you feel correct. All of you can respond, all of you can answer. All of you can respond. As you can see a screen in front of you, in that you can click on the appropriate option, whichever you feel it is right. Would you like GREH to help you with your GRE preparation? That's the question here. Would you like GREH to help you with your GRE preparation? All right, so 31% of them here would love to. 24% you need help from a GRE expert. So you want a GRE expert to give you a call. So you can contact us whenever you want in this number 9884453276. You can call right away if you want. Okay, there will be an expert who can help you. You can even mail us at info@greedge.com. I will be available there. You can send me mails at info@greedge.com, and if I have not cleared any of your doubts, you can send your mails here. We will clear your doubts there. Plus, you can also log into GREedge Facebook page. You can log into Facebook and search GREedge. There you can address all your doubts. Okay, I will clear your doubts there also. So thanks a lot for attending today's online seminar. I wish you enjoyed it. All the best. Thank you.